So for the final paper, this is your most time-intensive assignment most likely, and might be a little bit unclear for some of you in terms of what exactly is expected in this assignment. So hopefully by using this video and also referring to the grading rubric that is in the doc sharing section of the course, that this will give you some information to help you in preparing and writing the paper. So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out what your thesis is. What is the central main point that you are trying to convey in this assignment? You want to be clear, you want to try and be succinct, you want to make it as interesting as you can. So really draw the audience. And again, it should be very clear. I should know by reading it what the thesis or the central point of your paper is. The next thing, as far as the topic, as far as what you want to write on, there's some things you want to consider. You first want to make sure that the topic is appropriate for the paper itself. In other words, you don't want something that's too broad, you don't want something that's too narrow, and you also want to consider the page length. So figure out how long you want to, you know what the guidelines are for the pages, so make sure that this topic fits within those guidelines as far as whether or not you can cover it significantly. So you can look into it and dissect it, and again, it's not too broad or too narrow. Now, as far as the format or the style of the paper, you have the option of MLA or APA style. It's your choice which one you want to do, but you just need to indicate that to me when you submit the assignment, which format you've decided to use. So if you are using APA, you want to make a note of that in the comments where you submit the assignment through the Dropbox, or again, if it's APA or MLA, whatever it is, just make sure it's very clear which one it is. Now, the distinction between the formatting and the actual citations, I'm going to try and break that down as best I can. When I look at this paper, this is a 100 level class, so I'm not as concerned with how you cite the sources, but just that you do cite the sources, and also that you make sure that the formatting is good. So the margins, the font point, the spacing, all those little things that go into it. But as far as, again, is citing the information, if it's somebody else's work, you want to document whose work it is. If the quotations are not exactly right or the parentheses are not exactly right, that's not a big concern to me. The most important thing is that you cite the sources and that you list them in the back, whether it's your works cited or your references, and again, that depends on the format you're going to want to use. So make sure you do that. You want to have at least 3 different sources, and quality is always important. The higher the quality of the source that you're using, obviously the more credible your paper is going to appear. So try to use reputable sources if you can. I know this isn't a media literacy or ILR 260, so I don't want to go into too much of that, but you kind of get a sense, hopefully just from basic internet search, using journals and things like that, you get a sense of what's considered a higher credible source than another. Also, the one thing to keep in mind is I will allow you to use Wikipedia as a source, but only one. So you can only use it as one of your 3 sources, because again, Wikipedia is not that it's bad, but I want you to be able to use a variety of different sources. So make sure you only use it once at the most. That's pretty much it. I think I've covered everything I want to cover. That'll hopefully give you an outline of what I'm expecting for this assignment. And the only other thing, just as a side note, because I've seen this a couple times still, when you're writing the word reflecting either to a medium or media, it's one of those 2 words. So if it's singular, it's medium. If it's more than one, it's media. You would never use mediums or medias. So just remember, forget the S and stick with either the ending in the M or the ending in the A. Okay? Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed it, and good luck on the assignment.